So I finally found my career, or rather, it found me. We don't get overtime. We don't get retirement or ever get to retire. Don't get a health plan, but at least a free education. If you can learn, you must. This poem's called Recovery. You were getting your master's. I was remastering a spoon. You took many steps in life. Well, I couldn't remember to tie my shoes. Everybody works hard, but is it worth the money? I know that I worked harder, but have nothing to show except my empty pockets, hanging to fill diplomas from life. I've got my iron will, because you've got to get steely when it gets to be hard. And nothing is harder than a wounded heart. It's funny to wait for what you might never know. I thought I saw it in glimpses through falling snow, but then it piled up quicker than Jiminy Cricket. It was thicker on the trees at the edge of the thicket. It's easy for me to focus on things you'll never see. I've fought for breaths you're given to know. Forget the forest, I couldn't see the trees. Walking inside, the pace got slow. I couldn't comprehend this feeling, although I certainly tried to. And it made a lot of noise when my quiet tried it. Recovery. I didn't write another entrance in here. There we go. Hello. No worries. So I never felt like suicide. I just wanted life to be over. It made sense that if I couldn't fill the space, why should I fill the space? And for a long time, death was the home that I was closer to on the line of life, and I just kept wanting to go home. Now I know my evils. Hypoglycemia, manic depression, brain injury, chronic pain, PTSD to beat the band. I mean, I can take my pick as to why I feel shitty today, or rather the shit picks me. But many days lately, I decide to feel not shitty. I mean, my brain injury is still winning if I let it. If I'm still here on this planet, and my body probably wants to be here on this planet, maybe we should take the hint. This is the poem, I'm Someone Still Alive. I am someone who almost once a time died. It doesn't matter anymore what I do for work. I almost killed myself, why, just the other night. I could almost tell myself the reason why. Suicide sucks, even if you don't do it. And then, if you do it, it sucks even more. At least your day ended with no more of those tomorrows. Just don't forget to shut the light as you go out the door. If you almost die, you see it again and again. Like living near a cemetery merely lacks where and when. But you can't make the time, just like you can't make the past. And it's only making you if you think you can make an end. I realized before the last poem that I used the clinical definition, manic depression, and I know this must date me because now, of course, it fits into the broader clinical definition, bipolar disorder. I remember the first time I heard this, I heard Jimi Hendrix proclaim from beyond the grave, you know, bipolar, deep in my soul. Traumatic brain injuries exacerbate manic depression, or bipolar disorder, if you prefer, or just about any other mental disorder. But sometimes you get a little grace period before your brain has become strong enough again to handle the weakness. Me, I got a grace period and began thinking that's how life would go. Silly me. So I just kept trying to be, failing the feeling, trying to call myself normal. I mean, most of us just want to matter to the world again, and not only as a statistic. At least with short-term memory gone, you don't notice a recurrence of a lot of this negativity. But then it leaves smoke on the walls and builds up and builds up. And when memories return, the walls come crashing down from the weight, and you remember exactly where you are. You're still running on the tracks to catch the train, while you're always running to escape the crash. This poem is called Run, Rabbit, Run. I've danced too many times with emptiness, sung too many times a dissonant song. Now I want different. Everything's far too strange. What I reach for to warm me does not seem the same. The face of my dream has changed as it sees my life flowing on another page, as I fill it with blood or DNA or whatever is life and the ink of my soul. Your eyes must be empty before you can cry. Remember, rabbits don't scream until they're about to die. So run, rabbit, run. PTSD is a normal reaction to an abnormal situation. It infects your complete being, how you look at the world, how you rate people and situations, and kind of takes the taste out of food sometimes. To those of us who have undergone some kind of trauma, it's like we went far away to fight our distant, nasty war, and then come back, and as we float through your world, which seems to be devoid of gunfire so far, we wait for the gunfire. And then sometimes when I'm watching telly or film, someone takes a dramatic fall from a great height, and that falling flash becomes imprinted on my brain to return later that night as sleep beckons and my eyes lose hold. An impulse of impact shuddering my body. Years ago, I told myself, or tried to tell myself, it's okay. Those are well-paid stuntmen. They're landing on airbags. I'm still waiting for my check from the stuntman union, and the invoice is getting larger. This is the poem PTSD. See, the post in PTSD is really a misnomer. Explained that way so y'all understand. But for those of us blessed with TSD, it means present and will surely come tomorrow. So I've got present traumatic stress disorder. For almost 20 years, I wait to fall or hit the wall while speeding down the highway. Or I search for ghostly snipers or booby traps. Someday one will get me. Etymological fun with the word post. It can mean 1, a piece of wood. 2, whence after, behind. 3, where the guard is standing. And also in England, with a capital P, it delivers letters in boxes. Well, for me, they swirl together. 1, piece of wood, makes me thick as a stump. 2, whence after. I mean, it just happened a minute ago, and it will always happen again. 3, where the guard stands. I'm usually ready with a weapon or sneer. And about the post, it's always in the mail. I wonder if these words I write will be epitaph or obit. I wonder if these words will be my last. And so it is. So my PTSD question why, incessantly, independent of conscious control, causing action unbidden by me, constantly trying to recreate the danger, the possibilities, to see if I'd survive this time. I went back to work doing what I'd done before, a raucous life as a stagehand in rigor. I joined a living history unit and started recreating World War II, an easy metaphor. My PTSD opening up the possibilities again while being able to stay on edge for a legitimate reason, or so I told myself. But that battle will never be won. And I'm finally able to give up war as a disease and now just try to keep it as a distraction. I began to put more and more of life's equation together. I'd sort of finished primary introspection and had grown enough to know that I needed family and friends, not only fellow survivors. I had grown enough to be able to conceive of more than just me and was able to begin seeing you. The circle got larger. Does the poem click? Will be where I have to, go where I must go, from the oceans of forever to the mountains made of stone. I'll bring what I need within the depths of my mind, but also bring seed for the flowers to grow. The soil will be there. The sun remains in the sky. Others have their tomorrows, while me, I'm busy with today. I found you've got to learn how to enjoy the moments to eventually get them all to stay. I know what I want, and I want to know more. Maybe I'll turn myself into my shrink and then pick up the reward, but then give it to everybody, because this I finally know. It's about the ocean of together and not the mountain of alone.